everyone. My name is Bob Kasher. I'm the DAV Chapter 3 Commander here in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Today we're here going to celebrate the 100th anniversary of our chapter. Our chapter began in April of 1924. It was started by 11 World War I veterans that were here. As the best we can tell is those 11 then veterans came back from World War I and were stationed at Fort Knox. After leaving the Army, they remained here in Hardin County, started this chapter for all the disabled vets coming back from World War I. After a period of years, they moved back to their home of record, which is in LaRue County, and there they remained until they have all passed. So that's a little story of how this chapter began. I want to also mention another historical thing that will happen this evening is we have some World War II veterans here, we have Korean War veterans, but the one World War II veteran, his name is Wayne Hayes, is 103 today. And we're going to have a special recognition and celebration and wish him happy birthday as well.
My name's Gregory Dearborn. I entered the Army in 1958. I got out of the Army in 1970. I was a staff sergeant. I served 3 tours in Vietnam, received 3 Purple Hearts. Wound up getting out because of the overseas service time that I had. I didn't want any more overseas time. And my next tour was to be another overseas time. So I decided to take and get out, and I went to work civil service. I married a local girl in Radcliffe, Kentucky, and settled down. I was originally from the state of Maine. And I've been in the Disabled American Veterans for 50 years. I wound up in the VA hospital and had back surgery. That's when I joined the DAV, and they helped me out with my disability. And it was a great outfit, and they took and helped me along with my disability claim. And that's what really got me involved. I worked with them, plus I took and volunteered for hospice for 5 years at the same time. And I just did an awful lot of volunteer work, you know, in different organizations. But DAV has always been, you know, the dearest to my heart. And that's where I've always stuck and tried to help out. I've held all the positions at chapter level and most of the positions at the state level, and had no desire to take and have any positions at the national level. So when I got out at state level, I just held other positions at state level, and I continued to take and work with the state as I do today.
My name is Alina Chesser, and I'm an auxiliary member here at 003, and it makes me truly happy to be here, and this room is lovely, and today is going to be fun for everyone. If you're interested in becoming part of DAVE, the Disabled American Veterans Group, or the auxiliary supports the chapter. You can reach out to us on Facebook and at locations to include the employment office in Elizabethtown. We're there to help others get what they need and they deserve.
My name is Clarence Robinson. I'm the commander of the American Legion here at Hardin Post 113.
What is it that the American Legion is doing here today?
The reason is I was asked by the commander of the DAV to come support him at his 100th dinner.
How are you supporting DAV? What does it entail for this?
By showing up, and also we give donations to DAV throughout the year.
And what exactly has the American Legion done for you personally, and what do you do for the American Legion?
The American Legion is made up of 4 pillars and stuff, right? Americanism, child and youth, national security, and what's the other one? I can't think of what the other one is. Oh, Veterans Affairs. Put that away. Veterans Affairs.
And what is it exactly that you do to help the American Legion do that?
Okay, what actually the American Legion does for the community itself, right? We donate a lot of money to the Special Olympics, a lot of other organizations that are needy, like Warm Blessings, Project Learn, the police departments, the FOPs. Reason to be is because we have to do it and to support the community itself.
What are some of the things that the American Legion has done for you personally?
It's shown me that I have to be fair no matter what in any of the decisions I make and stuff, right? And I know that you can't please everybody, but you have to be fair across the board.
And is there anything interesting about the American Legion or about events like this that you'd like to share?
All veterans organizations are very unique and stuff, right? They're unique in their own ways. And the thing is, right, for this year, I also met quite a few veterans that I've known when I was in the military here today and stuff, right? And it's good to re-see your veterans.
So my name is Kevin Reed. I'm representing an organization called Honoring Our Heroes, which is a group out of Bowling Green, Kentucky, that honors America's veterans from all the wars that America's been involved in. We do it in every year in the fall. We have an event called Operation Anvil, where we again honor the veterans by giving them awards, by recognizing them, and also by hosting a World War II reconstruction battle or reenactment battle. Sorry. What you see today is the setup of some of our personal gear that we have here that we set up as an adjunct to today's festivities for disabled American veterans to remember their service to the United States.
And what are some of the things that you have here specifically?
We have equipment from World War II, bazooka, shotgun, an M3 submachine gun, some of the rifles that were used, and bayonets. And then we also have a bunch of equipment from the Korean War, from the Vietnam War as well. Again, the small arms, uniform bits. We also have 2 World War II Jeeps with some of the cargo that they would have carried. So when people come to reenactments, they get a chance to see the equipment the soldiers used, what they operated with, how they operated.
What's the most interesting thing that you've seen or done during the reenactment?
Well, it depends on which reenactment. One of the things is we're also supported by a group called the 14th Armored Division, which has a couple of running Stuart light tanks. So it's always fun to see those. We've also had a German tank show up one year to our activities. And the battles that we do, again, at Bowling Green, give people a chance to see World War II equipment in use.
And today, Dave is celebrating its 100th anniversary. But tell us, what are you celebrating today?
The 103-year-old.
That's awesome. You've been around longer than Dave has. Now,
I got a card that says, "Well, happy birthday, Wayne, your 100th birthday." And I opened it up, and they said they didn't have any card for 103, so here's a card for a 3-year-old to go with it.
oh, that's really cute. That's good.
Happy birthday.
So, can you tell us your name and where you served?
My name is Wayne Hayes. I grew up at Glendale, just down the road a little piece. I served a stretch in the service, And for most of my life, I worked in Elizabethtown in the Hayes Insurance and Realty Company.
Awesome. So, if you could give us any advice, since you're turning 103, if you could give us some advice to help us live longer, what would that be?
Well, first place, stay sober. Second place, get enough rest at night. And when you lay down at night, forget about yesterday's problems and refresh yourself for the next day. And that way you'll be ready to go to face any new challenge.
That's right.
That's right.
So what service did you, or what branch did you serve in?
I was in the Army Air Corps. That was the granddaddy of the Air Force, before the Air Force came into being.
That right there is impressive on itself, right? That's amazing.
I was a B-29 crew member, was a radar operator, based on Saipan, and paying respects to Japan with a little drop of.
So for today's servicemen and women, would there be anything you would want to tell them?
I'm sorry.
For today's servicemen and women, would there be anything you would tell them? People in the Army?
Well, the service today is completely different from
It
the
really
time
is.
that I was.
Yeah.
I was drafted into the service, and that's a whole lot different from being an enlistee.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, when they told me that we had done a good job and Japan had surrendered and they offered the challenge to go home, I took it.
Yeah.
Because I was not cut out for a career person. So I really couldn't tell you.
But you know, that little bit that service, no matter if you're drafted or enlisted in, that is amazing for everybody, not just you and your family, but for everyone here, you know. And we're glad of your service, and we are so honored to meet you today and have a good time.
I wouldn't take anything for the time that I served, but I don't want to do it again.
Yeah, that's a good one, too. All right, well, thank you for letting us interview you.
My name is Dakota White, and I'm with North Hardin JROTC. I'm a captain. So today we are doing an event for I think a Veterans Day anniversary, and we'll be posting the colors.
And why is it important for you all to do this for the disabled American veterans?
Because it shows that we are willing to help others, and we're also we are always glad to help.
And is there anything interesting about ROTC or about these events that you'd like to share?
They're very fun, and we love meeting new people.
Hi, my name's Alina Chesser, and I'm with the auxiliary, but I'm also here interviewing people today. And can you tell me what war you served in?
World War II.
That's amazing. That is really amazing. And can you tell us your name and what branch you were with?
My name is Bill Shaffrick, and I was with the Army. I was in the Army. I joined in 1943, right out of high school, and got out of the Army in 1946. I was overseas with the 69th Infantry Division.
Awesome. That's wonderful. We really appreciate your service and coming out here today. Do you have any advice for anyone who is a disabled vet or even an active duty personnel?
Well, I don't have much advice. I have feelings and thoughts about my military service. I have a statement I make about my growing up.
Yeah.
I was raised in Connecticut and grew up in the Army,
Yeah.
and it was a great experience. It's one that I think I glad I didn't miss.
Yeah. That's wonderful, and we're so glad to have you. And you know, there's so many veterans out there that need help and don't get it, and they may not even be aware of this project. But we're so glad that you can come and share your knowledge with us.
Well, between the DAV and the VA, I think the support is there if you reach out for it.
Yeah, yeah. Now, do you have a funny story or anything that you would like to tell us?
I can't think of one, but I know there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
It was just a great 3 years, and
Would you do it again?
oh, absolutely,
That's wonderful.
without a doubt.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for letting us interview you today. We're going to be on channel 184 if you have Spectrum, and if you have Brandenburg, it's on channel 2. And
Okay.
We'll also be on YouTube, so you can watch it there too.
Well, I'll look for it. When's it going to be on?
It takes about 3 weeks for editing,
Oh,
and
okay.
then it'll air.
Uh-huh.
We appreciate you so much, and thank you for your service.
Well,
And we're going to walk around and see if we can find anybody else.
okay. Well, thank you for speaking with me.
You know what? It's a privilege to get to speak to, World War II veterans. There's a lot of difficult times in the world, but that was, everybody knows that. Everybody knows how much got put into that.
I just feel so fortunate that I was of the age that I was, because it's a young man's experience to be revered for the rest of your life. I was, of course, young. I was 17 when I joined. I was single. My parents were great. They were very patriotic. My mother didn't want to see me go.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But
We're going to put the microphone up there. I think it's getting ready to start. It's getting ready to start. Are you excited?
yep.
Me too.
Before we begin our celebration this evening, I'd like to introduce some of our special guests that are with us tonight. I want to introduce Matt Deneen. He might be running a little late. Senator Dean is to be here. Hardin County Judge Executive Keith Tall and his wife Megan. The DAV Department of Kentucky Commander Bob Kaminsky. The past Department Commander Greg Dearborn. The DAV Department Senior Vice Commander Mike Sparks and his wife Noelle. The first Junior Vice for DAV Department is Mike Stoyanovich. The DAV Department Adjutant George Hall. Director of Services for the DAV is Lee Ewing. I also like to recognize the DAV Auxiliary State Commander Jane Casher. The DAV Judge Advocate for the state is Virginia Merrifield. The Auxiliary State Adjutant, Tracy DeFleece. And the DAV 2nd District Commander, Steve Johnson. And the Auxiliary 2nd District Commander, Sheila Rice. All past and present commanders and members and guests, I want to thank you all. And I also want to recognize the American Legion Post 113 Commander Robbie Robinson and his wife, and David Dusty Rhodes from VFW Post 10281. Thank you all for attending tonight. There's also several organizations that I would like to recognize as well, and that is our local Quilts of Valor, who will be conducting a presentation later on this evening. And our Master of Ceremonies will now come forward so we can conduct the opening ceremony. Thank you.
At this time, Honor Guard members will conduct the opening ceremony. The ceremony will consist of a presentation of flags of our armed forces, followed by the national colors. But before we begin, I want to point out a place of honor that will remain until the banquet closing ceremony. The first one is the missing man table, or as some call it, the POW table. The second one is the soldier's cross to remind us of all the service members that have paid the ultimate sacrifice for the freedoms we enjoy today. And the last one is a candle that will be lit in remembrance of our deceased chapter and auxiliary members. And I don't know where the lighter went because I don't have it. I'm sorry. See, that's why he's our commander. Ladies and gentlemen, when the flag for your branch of service is called, feel free to stand if you're able to and render the honors if you wish. The United States Army, my battle streamers stand in mute testimony of the victories that 248 years of dedicated service have produced. My soldiers have taken their stand, held their ground in war and peace in the tradition set by their predecessors at Valley Forge, Busan, Vietnam, Grenada, Panama, and the Middle East, Afghanistan, and Iraq. I am the defender of freedom. I am the flag of the United States Army. Army veterans, please be seated. The United States Marine Corps, steeped in the leatherneck pride and tradition of Iwo Jima and Tripoli, I have been a leader in defense of freedom on both land and sea. Known and respected around the world, my motto, Semper Fidelis, I am the flag of the United States Marine Corps. Marine Corps veterans, please be seated. The United States Navy. From the years of my first privateer to the decks of my newest nuclear carrier, my men and women have carried the battle to the enemy's shores. I have defended liberty on the seas against all those who dared to challenge, and my heroes have remained victorious. I am the flag of the United States Navy. Navy veterans, please be seated. The United States Air Force. Our duty to serve the country in war and peace. This is the proud heritage of the men and women who gather under my color in defense of my country. I am strong in my resolve to protect this land and the independence that it stands for. I am swift as an eagle and terrible in my vengeance. I am freedom's song on silver wings. I am the flag of the United States Air Force. Air Force veterans, please be seated. The United States Space Force. I was established on December 20th, 2019, as the newest branch of the armed forces charged with protecting the United States and allied interests in space and to provide space capabilities to the joint force. Each element of my design has meaning. The globe represents the terrestrial home of the United States Space Force and its support to the joint warfighters. The Space Force's motto, Semper Supra, means always above. It represents the service's role in establishing ongoing integrity, cooperation, and allied partnership. I am the flag of the United States Space Force. Space Force veterans, please be seated. I didn't see, okay, I just was making sure. The United States Coast Guard. From the lonely shores to the stormy seas, my ships and sailors guard the future of our country. Pride and professionalism are the key words in the performance of our duty. Though my numbers are few, contributions are many and everlasting to those in need. My history shines as a beacon in the extended hand in the darkness of the unknown. I am the flag of the United States Coast Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're able to at this time, please rise for the entrance of our national colors, Commonwealth of the Kentucky colors, and remain standing for the national anthem and My Old Kentucky Home, which will be sung by April Brown. The flag of the United States. I fly atop the tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly proudly over institutions of learning. I stand guard with power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am proud. When I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is a little higher, my colors a little truer. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am worshiped. I am saluted. I am loved. I am respected, and I am feared. I have fought in every battle of every war for more than 200 years. I led my troops. I was dirty, battle-worn, and tired, but my soldiers cheered me, and I was proud. I have been burned, torn, and trampled on in the streets of countries I have helped to set free. It does not hurt, for I am invincible. I have been soiled upon, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of my country. And when it's by those whom I've served in battle, it hurts. But I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped the bonds of earth and stood watch over the uncharted frontiers of space from my vantage point on the moon. I have borne silent witness to all of the America's finest hours, but my finest hours are yet to come, when I am torn into strips and used as bandages for my wounded comrades on the battlefield, when I am flown at half-mast to honor my soldier, or when I lie in the trembling arms of a grieving parent at the grave of their fallen son or daughter, I am proud. I am the flag of the United States of America. Flag of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. My background is blue, typical of most state flags. I was adopted on March 26, 1918. The seal shows two men embracing, one of the figures a frontiersman in buckskin and the other a gentleman in formal frock, coat, and pants. These suggest Kentucky's country and city inhabitants of 1792, as well as Westerners and Easterners with their common interest in preserving national unity. Theme is reflected in the state motto, United we stand, divided we fall, the flag of the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still Feel free to join me in my old Kentucky home. The sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home. 'Tis summer, the people are gay. The corn tops ripe and the meadows in the bloom, while the birds make music all the day. The young folks roll on the little cabin floor, all merry, all happy and bright. By and by, hard times comes a-knocking at the door, then my old Kentucky home, good night. Weep no more, my lady, oh, weep no more today. We will sing one song for my old Kentucky home, for my old Kentucky home far away.
Color guard, halt, order, colors, right face, forward, march.
At this time, we will play Playing of the Mansions of the Lord.
These work electronics.
We'll track the price of your flight, so you can decide what.
Okay, we'll reserve that for later on. We have several special activities planned for this evening, but before we bless the food and enjoy the dinner, there is a special ceremony and a cake cutting that will be taking place. At this time, I would like for Mr. Wayne Hayes to stand.
You may all be seated. I'm sorry. I didn't write that in the script, so. Mr. Hayes is a veteran from World War II, where he served proudly in the Army Air Corps. And today is Mr. Hayes' birthday, and he is 103 years young. So we're going to deliver a small cake to him, and once the cake is in place, please join me in singing Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Wayne. Happy birthday to you. And now we have another cake to cut. This one has our 100th anniversary logo on it, and it's the first cut will be made by member Rich Moore with less than 1 year as a member, and Mr. Greg Dearborn with 51 years as a member. There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a couple of special presentations that the county and the individuals in the community would like to present to Mr. Hayes. So at this time, I'm going to ask our Judge Executor, Mr. Tall, if he'll come forward.
All right, what an honor it is to be here this evening. I do have a proclamation that I'd like to read for everyone, and especially for Mr. Wayne Hayes. And it reads, this is Hardin County, Kentucky proclamation to whom all greetings. Whereas Wayne Hayes has the extraordinary privilege to have lived 103 years and gained the title of Centenarian.
I should have practiced that word, which is only held by 0.2% of Americans. And whereas Mr. Hayes
proudly served his country in the Army Air Corps as a radar operator on a C-47 in World War II, which at this point is still the largest and deadliest conflict in human history. And whereas America
and the entire world depends on the knowledge, experience, and unique insight that 100-year-olds can give us so that we may learn from history's past mistakes in order to build a better and brighter future for everyone. And whereas Hardin County respects and admires those precious few individuals that are still alive from the greatest generation to guide, teach, and inspire us to be better human beings with a great sense of patriotism. And now, therefore, be it resolved on behalf of all the citizens of Hardin County, in recognition of Wayne Hayes and in appreciation for his unwavering service to not only Hardin County citizens, but the citizens of an entire nation, I do hereby proclaim on this momentous day, April 13th, 2024, as Wayne Hayes Day, which within Hardin County, Kentucky, and encourage all of our citizens to join me in this worthy observance, set this 13th day of April in the year of our Lord, 2024, with the official seal of the County of Hardin.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jim Wicks. I'm a member of the E-Town Lions Club. On April Fool's Day in 1997, I was sworn in to the Lions Club, and Wayne Hayes was my sponsor. Let me read a little certificate of recognition that we have here tonight, which is congratulating Lion Wayne Hayes on his 103rd anniversary of life, this 13th of April. The Elizabethtown Lions Club wishes to thank you for 78 years of service to Lionism. We also thank you for your service to our country, to our community, which makes you a revered hero, and we honor you for all your lifelong contributions. You have our genuine thanks and gratitude. Signed, Willie Oden, President of E-Town Lions Club. God bless you, Wayne.
At this time, dinner will be served. But before we do that, I think we need Chaplain Homer Wine to come up here and take care of that part of it. And Homer will also be taking care of, he'll call out the tables and do all of that for you. Homer?
Let us pray. Again, dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this food we're about to have for nourishment to our body. Watch over us now as we consume this. We ask this all in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
does. Be careful when you make this
Well, ladies and gentlemen, while you're eating, we have a lot of letters that were sent in to our chapter, and I have one from the governor. I don't want you to stop eating, but I'm going to take the time to read this letter now. Disabled American Veterans, Chapter 003, to Commander Robert D. Casher. Greetings. On behalf of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, I am honored to congratulate the Disabled American Veterans, Chapter 003, and its members celebrating the 100th anniversary on April 13th, 2024. It is indeed my privilege to reflect on your remarkable past as well as a look ahead to the many generous activities that will continue with your efforts to assist local veterans and their families in the future. Since your chapter was established 100 years ago on April 10th, 1924, the members have worked diligently to ensure Kentucky's veterans are connected to the services and programs they need to help and assist local veterans in their time of need. Whether it be financial or housing insecurities or completing disability claims, your work is commendable, and I am confident that your chapter will continue to help our veterans for generations to come. Your commitment and dedication to our disabled veterans is immeasurable, and your services will perpetually have the positive impact on Hardin County and the entire Commonwealth. I wish you much success in all of your future endeavors. Sincerely, Andy Bashir, Governor. All right, as we're wrapping up eating, I want to thank a few people that aren't inside. The Vietnam Veterans Association, VVA 5051, let's give them a round of applause. That's that whole display that's set up outside. Those guys came down and did an awesome job setting up outside. I'd also like to thank, I think we have our 2 members left, but the University of Louisville ROTC program, we have stand up, you two. I know you're back there trying to hide. They're going to stay and retire the colors for us tonight. I'd like to thank Central Hardin High School and North Hardin High School for doing such a fine job on the colors earlier, but they weren't able to stay. But I promise you, they will be well taken care of with their units. We will make sure they are recognized. Last, I'd like one person to stand up and then come up here. Ken Volker, can you come up here for a minute? Yeah, sorry. Before all this goes on, ladies and gentlemen, Ken Volker has spent months, literally months, putting all this together with his committee. I can't thank everybody that he had on the committee, so I'm going to let him thank everybody. But let's give it up for Ken Volker and the whole committee. You got to speak now. There's your mic. Thank all the people that were on the committee that helped you.
Well, the good thing is my voice is almost gone, so I won't take up any time. The committee, we had a lot of folks with the auxiliary, and on the committee, Bob Casher, Jim, Homer. We had a lot of help with this, so it just wasn't one guy. I was the central point, but everybody else did a lot of the work. The ladies from the auxiliary, phenomenal job with decorating, just top notch. Really was good. So it was a pleasure to do this. I think this is a good thing. I won't go around for 200, but that's okay. Somebody else will be. So that's all I have. Thank you.
And lastly, Barbara's right there. The auxiliary, I know they were a big part in helping Ken out, and they're part of the committee, and they've helped set this up. Any member of the auxiliary that's in here tonight, please stand up so we can recognize you. All the auxiliaries, stand up. Let's give them a big round of applause for all they do for us, and they keep us out of trouble. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. All right. I hope everyone enjoyed the meal, and I'd like to have the caterer come out. Is the caterer back there? Amanda, I know you're back there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Amanda and her staff are from Shoney's, and let's give them a big round of applause. Amanda, if you don't get enough help cleaning up, I got some guys over at this table over here that are always in trouble. They'll be glad to come help you. Yes, ma'am. You know who you two are. All right. At this time, I'd like to start out by asking State Senator Matt Deneen to come up and say a few words. Yep. You got everything?
Mm-hmm. I do. I have a couple of things.
You say that you want to tell me whatever you want me to read.
I'll read it. You want me to? I'll go ahead and read these proclamations and just hand them to you as we get done. Good evening, and thank you for allowing me to join you today on this monumental occasion celebrating the 100th anniversary of DAV Chapter 003. It's an honor to be with you. As I look around the room, I see so many familiar faces, those that I have enjoyed having conversations with, sharing stories with, and visiting with throughout our community. And I'm so glad to say that many of members of this club have made a significant contribution, not only to their fellow soldiers, but to our community. And it is an honor to be with you. It's an honor to be with individuals that are here that are even older than the 100th year anniversary of this chapter. Not very many can say. So to my friend Wayne Haynes, happy birthday, my friend. I know it's coming up. It's just amazing that we celebrate so many great members from our past conflicts and wars and engagements around the globe. I have with me today a couple of proclamations I would like to read. The first one is from the Senate Chambers, the Commonwealth of Kentucky. It says, "To all whom that are present shall come greetings. Know ye that the members and leadership, Disabled American Veterans Chapter 003, Elizabethtown, are recognized and honored upon this auspicious occasion, the chapter's 100th anniversary. A notable milestone marking a century of dedicated support for America's injured and ill veterans and their families. Over the past 100 years, Chapter 003 has continually worked to uphold the mission of the DAV by empowering veterans to lead high-quality lives with respect and dignity. Inasmuch as the members of the DAV Chapter 003 in Elizabethtown have served their country with the utmost honor and courage, and now utilize their time and resources to serve in the interest of their community and fellow veterans. Said honorees are offered sincere commendation and gratitude. As they celebrate this historical milestone, they are extended the best wishes for future success, good fortune, as they continue to labor so diligently in the interest of the common good and of all our veterans. Signed on this day by President Robert Stivers and myself, Senator Matt Dineen. I have one more. Unfortunately, the mayor of Elizabethtown could not be with us today, but as a former city council member, he has given me the privilege and honor to stand in his stead. It says, the city of Elizabethtown, a proclamation from the office of the mayor observing DAV Chapter 003's 100th year anniversary. Whereas Disabled American Veterans was founded September 25th, 1920 by World War I veterans and officially chartered by the Act of Congress on June 17th, 1932, with the largest wartime veteran service organization in the United States, with approximately 1 million military service disabled veterans in its membership. The national headquarters in Cold Springs, Kentucky, with national service and legislation headquarters located in DC, and the local DAV Chapter 003 was established in 1924. And whereas in 2024, DAV Chapter 003 celebrates 100 years of serving veterans of the armed forces, as well as their families, survivors, and communities, by empowering veterans to lead lives of respect and dignity and assisting in the transition back to civilian life. And whereas DAV Chapter 003 accomplishes this by ensuring veterans and their families have access to a full range of benefits, by fighting for the interest of America's injured heroes, and by educating the public about the needs of veterans. And whereas DAV Chapter 003 provides free professional assistance to veterans and their families in obtaining benefits and services provided by the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs and other agencies. And whereas DAV Chapter 003 has fought tirelessly for equal access to critical VA caregiver benefits and services for severely disabled veterans of all generations, resulting in the legislation to expand eligibility to those injured prior to September 11, 2001. As part of the VA Mission Act and their unending commitment to ill and injured veterans of all generations and conflicts, now therefore I, Jeffrey H. Gregory, Mayor of Elizabethtown, Kentucky, by virtue of the authority vested in me, am honored to hereby proclaim April 13th, 2024, throughout this community as Disabled American Veterans Chapter 003 Day. Signed by the Mayor, Jeff Gregory. I would be remiss if I did not mention a few things as we are wrapping up this legislative session as it pertains to our budget and how we have tried very hard to ensure you and others receive the benefits and care that you have earned. I'm proud to announce that the General Assembly has appropriated $9 million for the Radcliffe Veterans Center. I'm also proud to announce that over $11,398,500 in fiscal year 2024 and 25, and $18,429,500 in fiscal year 25 and 26 will be appropriated to support veteran services and increased operating costs across the Commonwealth. I'm also proud to announce that $1 million in fiscal year 24-25 to the Department of Veteran Affairs to be distributed to Kentucky Valor to support services to veterans. Kentucky Valor is a nonprofit organization that partners with employers throughout the Commonwealth to connect transitioning service members and spouses to job opportunities. And finally, I'm proud to say that I have had several meetings with Matt Castor from USA Cares. We were able to put $1 million in each year over the next 2 years for USA Cares as they provide post 9/11 military veteran service members and their families with financial assistance and post-service skills training to create a foundation for long-term stability. With that said, I'm very, very honored and proud to represent the 10th District, and I'm very honored to serve as Vice Chairman of the Veterans Military Affairs and Public Protection Committee in Kentucky State Senate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam. We appreciate you. Now I'd like to ask our department commander, Robert Kaminsky, to come forward for a few remarks. They're doing that sign language that commanders do. I'll bring it to you. I'll bring it to you. You two stay there. All right.
The national organization sent this to us in recognition of Chapter 3's 100th year anniversary. It's a 100-year plaque charter. It says Elizabethtown Chapter 3, Department of Kentucky, chartered April 10th, 1924. And I want to congratulate you and your chapter for everything you've done for the past, well, 100 years. I know you haven't done it for 100 years. If you have, you'd be getting a birthday too.
Greg Dearborn has done it for about 100 years.
Where are you, Greg?
Table 5, right over there.
But I'd just like to say this, I'm proud of this organization, I'm proud of this chapter, everything that's done, not just at the department level, but at this level here with service officers. This is where our bread and butter is, making sure that everybody gets what they can, and knowing that being a service officer doesn't mean just doing a claim. It's everything from negotiating with a landlord, helping with utilities, even trying to help find daycare, in providing food. Service officers do a lot of work and they put a lot of effort into it. And each chapter, I know, does their own thing, but every chapter does it the best. Thanks.
Thank you.
Don't put it
okay, it's all right.
You smell if you want to.
Thank you, buddy.
Okay. I'd like to thank both those gentlemen for their kind words. Before we end this evening banquets, we have one more special ceremony to conduct. In just a few minutes, I'm going to ask the Quilts of Valor to come forward. But before I do, I want to say a few words. The members of this banquet committee decided to have special recognition for a few of its members. After some discussion and coordination, we decided to request Quilts of Valor and if they could make the presentation. Sorry. Before I turn it over, I would like to officially announce the names of the veterans that are receiving quilts. And if you would, as I call your name up, I don't know the order that you want them to sit in. So if I could get a representative from the quilts, I'm going to bring them up to the front row for you up there. Angelica Bibbin, United States Army. Come forward. You tell them where to sit, and I'll bring them all up to you if you stand up there. Just come up. She's going to tell you where to stand. Sherry Crawford, United States Army. Samantha Reed, United States Army. Deborah Savage, United States Army. David Jarrett, United States Navy. George Dilley, United States Army. James Deneen, United States Army. Craig Dearborn, United States Army and Special Forces. Arlie Crawford, United States Army. Raymond Rice, United States Army. John D. Fleece, United States Army. Also your next year's commander for the unit. Kenneth Volker, United States Army. Ron Moligard, United States Army. Robert Kaminsky, United States Army. George Hall, United States Army. Lee Ewing, Marine Corps. There you go. James Healy, United States Navy. Steve Johnson, United States Army.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Marcella Gooden. I am with the national organization called Quilts of Valor. The other two members of our group is Linda Henderson and Arlene Turman. The people, the veterans that you see here now are very well deserving of their Quilts of Valor. I've got the things inside.
Okay, that's what I was going to do.
Yeah. So I need those. Okay. There's a background on Quilts of Valor in case you all didn't know. It was sparked by a mother's love for her son who was serving in Iraq. The journey for the Quilts of Valor came into existence through the mother, Catherine Roberts of Seaford, Delaware. The idea of honoring a veteran, active duty or retired, with a handmade quilt soon became a movement that spread by word of mouth and all across our great nation. The mission of the Quilts of Valor Foundation is to cover service members and veterans touched by war with comforting and healing quilts of valor. The first quilt was awarded on November 2003 at Walter Reed Military Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland, to a young soldier from Minnesota who had lost a leg in combat in Iraq. Since then, there have been well over 350,000 quilts awarded to all of our veterans for their service since the beginning of Catherine Roberts' dream. From the initial request of nominating a veteran up to and including presentation, it takes well over 6 months to 1 year to prepare the quilt and get it completed. All materials that go into making these quilts are made possible through the generous donations received from individuals, such as yourself, and to keep honoring our veterans. The quilt brings you a 3-part message from our heart. First, we thank you for your service. We thank you for leaving all you hold dear to serve, whether in time of crisis or in time of peace. Next, our quilters know that freedom is not free. The cost of our freedom is the dedication of lives of men and women like you, and this quilt is meant to say thank you for your service. And finally, this quilt is meant to comfort you and to remind you that although your family and friends cannot be with you at all times, you are forever in our hearts and our thoughts. Our quilts are awarded. They're not handed out like a magazine or a video. This quilt of valor unequivocally says thank you for your service and your sacrifice to our great nation. A quilt, if you are a quilter, you know the quilt consists of 3 layers held together by its quilting stitches. We like to think of the layers in this way. The top of the quilt, with its many colors, shapes, and fabrics, represent the communities and the many individuals we are. The batting, the filler, is the center of the quilt, its warmth. It represents our hope that this quilt will bring warmth, comfort, peace, and healing to the individual who receives it. The backing is the strength that supports the other layers. It represents the strength of the recipient, the support of his or her family, our communities, and our nation. Each stitch that holds the layers together represents love, gratitude, and sometimes the tears of the maker. A veteran is someone who at one point in their life wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America for an amount up to and including their life. This is an honor, and there are way too many people in this country who no longer understand it. Today we thank a veteran. Yes. Okay. I need just a top sheet.
Okay.
And then we're going to award Mr. Dilley. George Dilley, he served in the Army. When he left, he was in 03. His dates of service was 1967 to 1974. When he was sworn in, Mr. Dilley, he received orders to Fort Sill for basic training. Almost immediately after basic training, Mr. Dilley was given orders to go to Vietnam. But before leaving, he went TDY to Fort Walters, Texas to complete helicopter training. Mr. Dilley completed his training through an advanced helicopter training program at Fort Rucker, Alabama. In November 1968, he was deployed to Vietnam as a helicopter pilot, where he completed a 13-month tour. Upon his completion of his deployment to Vietnam, Mr. Dilley received orders for Fort Campbell, Kentucky as basic training commander. 6 months later, Mr. Dilley heard that his brother had received orders to Vietnam. He volunteered for another tour in Vietnam in place of his brother. Once the orders were submitted and granted, Mr. Dilley returned to the battlefield in 1971 with the fixed wing training. On his second tour, Mr. Dilley was part of the Bird Dog 83rd RAC Company as an operations officer for 3 months, then reassigned to Helicopter Chulea with the 174th RHC Company. His mission with this company was to fly to Laos as a PBO, Property Book Officer, and Supply Officer with little flying time. During this mission, his company was deactivated, making him the last man in his company. Thank you for your service, Mr. Dilley. Okay. I have a Sherry Crawford, if she would stand, please. Her branch of service was the Army, activated Army National Guard. Her rank when she left was E7. Her dates of service was September the 30th of 2003. David Jarrett, please stand. His branch of service is the United States Navy. His rank was 03. He served from 1967 through 1974. Thank you for your service, Mr. Jarrett.
You did a good job.
Samantha Reed. Her branch of service was the United States Army. Her rank when she left was 04. And those are the only notes I have on Samantha Reed. We have a Deborah Savage. Her branch of service was United States Army. Her rank was 05. Her dates of service was September the 30th, 2018. Thank you for your service, Deborah. Angelica Bibbin. Her branch of service was United States Army. Her rank when she left was E5. Her dates of service was July the 20th of 2015. Steve Johnson. Branch of service is United States Air Force. Rank was E5. Dates of service was 68 to 72. He served in Vietnam from 61 to 75. His duty station was Vietnam. Thank you for your service. We okay? Mr. James Healy, his branch of service was United States Navy. His rank was E7. Dates of service was 65 to 92. He served in Vietnam. He served as a Navy Seabee during his tours. He was on several Navy bases. He also did a tour in Vietnam at Desert Storm. Thank you for your service. Robert Kaminsky, his branch of service is United States Army. His rank is E7. He served from 1994 through 2001. Where he served was Operation Freedom from 2002 through 2011. His duty stations was Fort Campbell, 101st Airborne Iraqi Freedom, Army Recruiting Command, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Robert trained as an infantry as well as an Army Ranger. Thank you for your service, Mr. Kaminsky. Ronald Mogard. He served in the United States Army. His rank was E8. Dates of service was 1968 through 1995. He served in the Cold War from 47 through 91. Duty stations was Fort Knox, Korea, Germany, and Fort Hood. Ron has held multiple leadership positions up to First Sergeant. Ron was graduate of the Sergeant Major's Academy Class 38. Thank you for your service, Mr. Mogard. Kenneth Belker. His branch of service is Army, including activated Army National Guard. His rank was W5. His dates of service was 1983 through 2018. He served in the Persian Gulf War from 1990 through 1991, Operation Iraqi Freedom from 2002 through 2011. His duty stations were Fort Richardson, Fort Rucker, Schweinfurt, Germany, Fort Bliss, Camp Page, Korea, Desert Storm, Iraq. Ken served as an Army aviator flying Cobra and Apache helicopters. Thank you for your service, Mr. Beckett. John DeFleece. His branch of service is Army. His rank was W3. Dates of service was from 1986 through 2011. He served in Operation Iraqi Freedom. His duty stations with Fort Knox, Hawaii, Fort Indian Town Gap, Iraq. John started his career as an enlisted soldier at the rank of sergeant. He was selected to attend warrant officer training at Fort Rucker. John had a successful career and retired as a Chief Warrant Officer 3. Thank you for your service, John. Raymond Rice. His branch of service was Army. His rank was E7. Dates of service was 1977 through 1997. His duty stations was Panama, Germany, Korea, Fort Hood, Fort Huachu, and Fort Knox. Thank you for your service, Mr. Rice.
Give me just a minute. Right. That's the next one. Okay.
Arlie Crawford. His branch of service was Army. His rank was E7. Dates of service was 1974 through 1995. He served in the Persian Gulf War. His duty stations included Desert Storm, duty station Fort Knox, Fort Campbell, Fort Hood, Korea, and Germany. Thank you for your service, Mr. Crawford. Lee Ewing. Branch of service was United States Marine Corps. He served from 1965 through 1968 with a rank of E4. He did serve in Vietnam era from 1961 through 1975. Thank you, Mr. Ewing. I will tell you that Mr. Ewing has 2 Purple Hearts for service in Vietnam. He is very active in the Department of Kentucky Disabled American Veterans. Lee has served in Department Commander and is currently the State Director of Services. I have a Gregory Hall. George Hall. I'm sorry. George Hall. His branch of service was United States Army. He served from 1969 through 1971. He was discharged with a rank of E5. He served during the Vietnam era from 1961 through 1975. He was a Special Weapons Team Chief in Field Artillery. He did serve at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, Germany, Korea, and Vietnam. Thank you for your service, Mr. Hall. James Deneen. His branch of service was Army. His rank was E7. He served 1958 to 1980 in Vietnam era. His duty stations was Fort Knox, Fort Dix, Fort Jackson, Germany, West Point, Vietnam, Fort Schaefer, and Fort Benning. Awards include Army Good Conduct, National Defense Service Medal, Republic of Vietnam Service Medal, Vietnam Cross of Gallantry, Vietnam Service Medal with 3 Bronze Stars. Thank you, Mr. Deneen.
This is Anita Frank Dearborn. You don't have the cover.
I don't have any papers for him.
Here, he will.
That's Kelly. I've got a Gregory Dearborn.
He's here. Yeah, he was. I read his name.
Is he here?
Yeah, he's right
Okay.
there. Special
Mr.
Forces.
Dearborn, your Army Special Forces. This That is about all I can say on him. He did serve with the United States Army and the Special Forces. Thank you for your service, Mr. Dearborn.
And there's one correction. You've already, I don't know how you had two of them. This is Stephen Johnson. Okay. You've got it again. Say that one because he's not in the Air Force, he's in the Army. Just say I have a correction and then read that one.
I have a correction for Stephen Johnson. His branch of service was United States Army. He served from 2002 through 2009. His rank was E5. Is that what he's got?
That's it.
Is that it? Okay. He served with Operation Enduring Freedom. He served in Korea, Fort Polk, Fort Drum, Afghanistan, deployment for 14 months. During Steve's deployment to Afghan, he was wounded twice, first by his friendly fire in the left leg, and second with shrapnel from an RPG in the right shoulder. He was awarded the Purple Heart for his injuries. Thank you for your service, Mr. Johnson.
Oh, you finished it. One more thing. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
On the back of each of your quilts is a label where you are to take an indelible marker, write your name on it, the date you received your quilt, and it has washing instructions. Make sure you take a color catcher when you wash your blanket for the first time, your quilt for the first time. Throw that color catcher in there and it will not let all the colors bleed all over your quilt. Make sure you write your name on the back of your quilt and the date you got it. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
That one is not anybody here.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, dear. You gonna thank everybody? You gonna do this? Thank everybody? You know who they are. Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. Got it? Go ahead and stand up.
Yeah, let's do the menace deal because he wants to leave first.
Hmm?
Do the menace deal first because he wants to leave.
I don't need either of these. No. Okay. Which one do you
Menace deal.
All right, we've got a couple presentations that we need to make. I promise we're coming to an end. I'd like a big round of applause to everyone that received their Quilts of Valor. And also a big round of applause to Quilts of Valor for providing that. I know how much work went into those.
Here's my speech part after this. Yeah.
You need that?
Well, we'll do these first.
Who do you want?
Men of Steel. Yeah. That's the guy in the silver.
Could I get the Men of Steel to come forward? Is he here?
To get their quotes.
There he is. I see him.
Yeah, they
volunteered. Ladies and gentlemen, the Men of Steel, again, are the gentlemen that are out front with all the display that's out there. They volunteered their time and volunteered all their personal equipment. So as Mr. Casher gives them a plaque from the chapter, I'd like you to give them a big round of applause.
Let me get back to the
You want me to read that?
Okay, for the Men of Steel, I appreciate it. Like Randy said, took time out of their schedule and volunteered their time and their equipment to come down here today. So I want to give you this little plaque that says, our chapter's sincere appreciation is presented to the Patton Museum Men of Steel in appreciation for your military display to the Disabled American Veterans Chapter 003 100th Anniversary Banquet.
Pause it for a second.
Miss April Brown.
Miss April Brown came down on her own dime and volunteered to do that beautiful music for us tonight. And I've asked her to come down on several occasions and sing because she's such a wonderful, wonderful singer. So on our chapter of sincere great appreciation is presented to April Brown in appreciation for the singing at the opening ceremony of the Disabled American Veterans Chapter 003 100th Anniversary Banquet. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, now we have some Gold Star Award plaques to give up. If it wouldn't have been for the kind and generous donations of these individuals that they're about to receive this plaque, this event wouldn't have happened this evening because our chapter just would not have been able to afford the amount of money out of our funds to put this thing together. So what we did is we asked for donations, and we had 3 levels, and the Gold Star level was a donation of $500 or more. All of these were donations of $750. So the first one I'd like to present is to the Carl Swope family of Swope dealers. And the next one, for a $750 donation, goes to one of our very own, George Dill. George Dilly.
Dilly.
Dilly Dilly.
Got it?
Got it, buddy.
Dilly.
I'm gonna take this copy.
It's all worth it.
Thank you, buddy. And the next Gold Star Award goes to Robert Griffin. Anybody know of a Robert Griffin?
Turn around, Robert. Your turn now.
Cheeseburger.
Just say apple pie.
Turn that way, you two. Turn that way.
And the last Gold Star Award goes to Jim Healy. What's that one?
Figure.
Oh, that's part of mine, yeah, okay. What am I doing my choosing? Oh, yeah, this is mine.
It's all you right now.
Okay. Hey, this has been a great evening tonight. I want to thank everybody. Thank everybody for coming out tonight and celebrating this historical event for our chapter. So let's give everyone a round of applause. I won't be more than about an hour at this talk. At least an hour. But anyway, I want to first start out with a little history. Like I said earlier, DAV Chapter 3 started back in 1924 with 11 veterans from World War I. These 11 veterans, as near as we can determine, came back from World War I and were stationed at Camp Knox. After they were discharged, they remained in the area. And of course, they were disabled. So they all got together and they formed Chapter 3 on April the 10th, 1924. After several years of remaining in Hardin County, they decided that it was time to move back to their home of record, which was Laurel County. There they remained until their passing, and all 11 of them are buried in various cemeteries in Laurel County. Now, what is our chapter today? What do we do as 100 years? We have 3 World War II veterans in our chapter. 2 of those are here this evening. Unfortunately, the one wasn't able to make it. But we have Mr. Wayne Hayes at 103. He just left, okay. And Mr. Bill he was in the Battle of Bulge, World War II. We also have Sergeant Major from Korea, Espedito. Did he leave? We also have in our chapter, but he couldn't make it tonight, is a Vietnam vet with a Silver Star for Valor. We have a Vietnam vet with a Bronze Star for Valor. We have several hundred of Vietnam vets in the chapter from various branches of the service, Purple Heart recipients, Distinguished Service Crosses, Flying Crosses, Purple Hearts, and the list goes on and on and on and on. But they mean a lot. We also have Iraqi freedom veterans. We have Desert Storm veterans. We have Afghan veterans. We have peacetime veterans. But one thing that is also just as important is the family members of those veterans. Let's give them a hand. I could tell you from experience, my battle buddy for the last 44 years has been my driving force of what I do today. So what do we do as a chapter on a day-to-day basis or a monthly basis? Well, just a couple of quick rundowns. Each year we do a Veteran Appreciation Week at our local Golden Corral, welcoming and appreciating veterans for their service. And that is our major fundraiser of the year for our general fund. Those dollars go to support the operational needs of the chapter, Christmas party, picnic, etc., etc. We have forget-me-nots, forget-me-not fundraisers. We partner with our auxiliary. Every penny that was brought in with our forget-me-nots is fenced for veterans and families of veterans. We help with electric bills, we help pay rent, we buy groceries, we keep the lights on, keep the water on, etc., etc. So the next time when you see the DAV, regardless of where you are, and they have a forget-me-not drive, drop whatever you can into their bucket. I don't care if it's a penny, $1, $100, whatever. I mean, because it's going back to support veterans. The next one, Operation Spitshine. This one here we started about 3 years ago, and what we did is we adopted a section at the Radcliffe Veterans Center. We have Section 3. We maintain the headstones. We go up and we clean the headstones every year before Memorial Day to make sure that they're dressed before the flags are put on them. And then we go back again in November and relook them, clean up around our area, and that's what we do there. We have a Visit a Vet program. We go to all of the nursing homes within Elizabethtown and to Carl Bashir monthly, and we drop off over 250 snack bags to every one of those nursing homes. And it's just a little snack with a little card. We partner with our auxiliary, and it just says, hey, we're thinking of you, and we drop them off every month. We team up with our auxiliary for that, as well as we do Christmas bags for all of the veterans and their spouses in the nursing homes for Christmas. We have done flagpole dedications. We've done one at one of the nursing homes. We're about to do one here this summer for the Golden Corral, who just now put a flagpole in. So that's just some of the things that we do. And as I said earlier, our organization is strictly a veteran service organization. Every dollar we get, every donation we get, goes right back into our community, helping our veterans. Now, I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. It goes back into our community. So if there's any of you that get that little card in the mail that says, donate to the DAV, send in your money today, and you send that in that card, it goes to the national headquarters in Erlanger, we don't see a dime. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. So what have we done in the last few years? We've had $32,459 in direct support to veterans, veteran assistance. We've had $27,006.46 to help our veterans and our chapter expenses and our operational expenses. Now that may not seem like a lot of money to some of the organizations that have 50 to 60 to hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, but to us, we are very proud of that $59,465.91 because we know that every penny went directly to a veteran or the families of veterans. Also in our chapter, we currently have 2 department level service officers and 5 chapter service officers. We normally had claims 1 day a week on Thursdays at the Kentucky Career Center. Within the past year, we've expanded that. We do 2 days a week for the first 3 weeks of the month, Tuesdays and Thursdays, at the Kentucky Career Center. The end of this month, we start at the CBOC on Fort Knox. The last Wednesday of every month, we will be doing claims at their CBOC. And then, as an addition, we got a call from our national service officers in Louisville. And next Tuesday, 16 April, spread the word, national service officers and our chapter service officers are going to be in Radcliffe at the Old Catholic School of St. Christopher, 1225 South Wilson Road, all day from 9 to about 4 o'clock, assisting veterans and families with claims and answer questions and help them as much as we can. Okay? So again, I think this about concludes my portion. Sorry I didn't take the whole hour that I promised I would take to talk with y'all, but I just want to say one more time, we really appreciate everybody in the chapter. This chapter does some phenomenal things with the short amount of people that we have to do it. But we get it accomplished. As that comedian, I can't remember his name is, says, we get her done. So, thank you.
Okay. They moved all my pages around, now I'm lost. Chaplain?
Yeah. You ready for me?
I'm ready for you, sir.
Now, before I say prayer, I want to say thank you for letting me be the chaplain, let me be a part of this organization that we just got listened to. I'm proud to do what I do as a chaplain. A lot of people don't know everything I do. I do, like he said, go to these nursing homes. I do it. I send birthday cards. I send get well cards. Some of you don't know, I even send one to our department chaplain, Neil Wade. I send him cards. That's just what I do. I do behind the scenes. A lot of people don't know what I do. Now I'm going to say prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you again for this beautiful day that you've given us to let us have this ceremony here. Watch over all of us as we travel home. Watch over the soldiers out there still guarding our country. Also watch over the people in the nursing homes, the hospitals that couldn't make this ceremony tonight. Watch over them and guide them. Let God give us all the glory. We ask this all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. And now please remain standing if you're able to. I'd like Miss April Brown to come up. April will be singing America the Beautiful.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
And I just want to say thank you for having me and happy 100th anniversary. I'm going to sing the first and third verses of America the Beautiful. A lot of you might know the first one. If you know the third, it's about our heroes. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Remain standing at this time for the retiring of the colors. Tonight, the colors will be retired by University of Louisville, ROTC.
Sorry, we put an obstacle course in there.
At this time, I'd like to thank you all on behalf of the commander and everybody again. Drive home safely, and please feel happy to stay and socialize for a bit. Also, we would appreciate anybody that wants to stay to help clean up. Thank you all.
Hello, my name is Keith Tall. I am the Judge Executive here in Hardin County. And we're here at Pritchard Center in Elizabethtown, Kentucky at the DAV, Disabled American Veterans, 100th anniversary of this chapter, 003. I was invited to come here tonight and to speak, and I used my time to present a proclamation for one of the vets that is 103 years old. And it was quite a privilege to have a proclamation that I presented to him tonight, and then just participating and being here as part of the festivities and being amongst basically heroes, people that have given of themselves, been injured, families of those that have died in wars over the years. And it was just a privilege and an honor to be here.
Good afternoon. I'm State Senator Matt Deneen, representing District 10, here at the DAV 003 Chapter 100th Anniversary Celebration. This organization has been serving the needs of our disabled veterans in our community for 100 years, and I am proud to be here to help them celebrate this milestone. Today, I brought with me a proclamation from the Kentucky Senate celebrating this momentous occasion, and I was honored to also bring a proclamation from the Elizabethtown Mayor Jeff Gregory celebrating this day and declaring this day Disabled American Veterans Chapter 003 Day here in Elizabethtown. You know, this organization has reached out and serves the needs of our service members that have been disabled in many conflicts, and we're blessed to have a few of our members here that have been in World War II. So with that said, I'm honored to serve as the Vice Chair of the Kentucky Senate Veterans Military Affairs and Public Protection Committee, and I'm honored to serve the constituents, especially our veterans here in Hardin County.
Hi, my name is Jane Kasher, and I am the Disabled American Veterans Auxiliary State of Kentucky Commander. I took over the 1st of July to the 30th of June, and that is when my year runs, and we are only allocated to be able to do 1 year. What I enjoy about the DAV is I can be an advocate for the veterans and family members that might not have a voice. As long as the good Lord allows me to breathe, I'm going to be a voice for our veterans and family members. And that's what our Disabled American Veterans is about. We have several programs. We have volunteers. We work at the local hospitals, volunteering, and up at Robley Rex. They have a group of volunteers that you go up the VAVS, you sign up, they give you a little training, and then they allow you to come up there and interact with our veterans and family members. The Disabled American Veterans, we have DAV for Kids programs. It's a grant program, and it's designed to assist 3 through 17-year-olds, children that possibly maybe couldn't afford to go to camps. They have grants that allow children to be able to go to cheerleading camps, Boy Scout camps, because not all of our veterans are financially capable of being able to provide that kind of an activity. We have an educational scholarship that we give out, the DAV and the DAV Auxiliary gives out. The selections are done, but they will announce it. We have DAVA Kids for Camp and grant programs, vocational training, and our Kids for Camp program, it is if a parent or legal guardian who is a current service member or a veteran with a financial need, they will provide grants for these children to be able to partake in Boy Scout camp, cheerleading camp. They've even bought equipment for children that are on traveling leagues that maybe their parent couldn't financially afford it. So that's what the for Kids grant, the DAV for Kids grant is. We have a caregiver support, and that is, they understand the sacrifices of those who have to care for our veterans. They have resources out there so that you're not alone. We want to make sure that, we can be your battle buddy. Our disabled American veterans, our eligibility is for all veteran families, grandparents, aunts, uncles, sisters, brothers. We have a wide array of who is eligible to be able to join the disabled American veterans. We take our children. I have grandchildren. We have an application. Our fee is a lifetime fee of $250. And when you're done with the $250, you are done paying. And 80 and older are free. We have complimentary for children. Now, we did just initiate, due to legislation, that parents or legal guardians have to sign their grandchildren or their children up because of the legalities. But we have junior membership. You can start a lifetime membership for your junior. I've done that for my grandchildren. Let's see here. Who belongs to the DAV? I want everybody to belong to the Disabled American Veterans because to me, it's a wonderful organization, and we help tonight our Disabled American Veterans Auxiliary here in Elizabethtown. Our unit is 003. We work very closely with our chapter, and we helped provide the table decorations. We helped provide the goodies because we want everybody to know that we appreciate you. We appreciate our mayor. We appreciate Senator Deneen. We appreciate all of our veterans, all of our family members. I don't think sometimes we are told enough that thank you for what you do for our service, for service members.